So we're doing things a little differently today, maybe a lot differently. It's not a normal Sunday, thank goodness. I lit our Christ candle for the first week of Advent. I light it every week. I want to remind you what the Christ means here. Christ means anointed one. It's the knowing of God, the knowing of good, the knowing of what we are. Because in the what we are, it doesn't matter who we are. We are beloved children of God, and that's the Christ message. Christ isn't about Jesus. Christ is about the anointing and the awareness of it and the coming into it. And in past years, we've always talked about Advent as it means the coming forth. But if it's always coming forth, it's never here. If we're always waiting for it, it's never here. So this year, let's look at what's here, the good that's here. Because we have all sorts of good in all sorts of packages. We let go of a friend this week. And I've never done this before on a Sunday morning. We all got our Kleenex. They put out boxes of them. But our friend Ray Sassano made his transition on Friday. And it's not a bad thing. We just don't like it. We just don't like it. You know, Ray, husband, father, friend, guitarist. The past several years here at Unity. And how do we associate all this in our spiritual practice? Except we know people have been leaving the planet for a very long time in their physicality. And this is our first at Unity since I have been here in 2004. This is the first family member who has transitioned from here to here. And we love him. I was with him on Thursday. Brian was with him Thursday afternoon. And he cried for 2 days. And he cried because he knew he had to leave his family. And Ray, I've never met a man who loved his family like Ray Sassano. Except maybe the Cons. And, maybe some other people. But I've witnessed this firsthand. But Ray and Mary, I mean, they have this group. This group in this little house in Westchester. And you know, they've been at Unity before I was. Their children grew up in this church. These Italian Catholics brought their children up in the Unity Center of Norwalk, then called Unity Fellowship Church. And Ray didn't want to leave his family because it was very clear Thursday afternoon as we had a long talk. And I leaned on the side of his bed and he put his hand right here on my elbow and I held his hand. And Marianne, well, she kind of left the room. She stood on the other side of the curtain listening. I found that out when Maria called and Marianne just appeared from behind the curtain. It's like, oh. And I didn't care because I didn't say anything to him I wouldn't have said in front of her. And I told him it was okay to leave. Because he was so torn, because how do you make that choice? And the doctor gave him a choice this week between hospice and another round of chemo. And Thursday afternoon, I gave him permission. We talked about it. And he said, but I love my family. And he told me about their first date and what she looked like. And
I look good.
You still look good. Okay, I'll say it. Marianne came to our dance last night, our dinner dance. I said, please come. dancing. I'm going to play the video at the funeral next week. But we're talking, and he just kept saying, but I love my family. I said, of course you do. And I said, there will never be an end to that love. And then I went to Marianne. I said, have you given him permission to go yet? And she said, no. And I said, are you willing to? And she said, yes. So she went in and she said, Ray, because he had got a port in on Wednesday for his kid to give him chemo. And they're preparing the chemo out in the hall. And she said, Ray, do you really want this? And he said, I think so, yeah. And then they dropped the bag of chemo all over the floor in the hallway. People are putting on hazmat suits to clean it up. What?
It was bizarre.
It was. And then Marianne went back that night and she told him he was good all night. She patted him and held him and told him he was good. And
I told him that I would always be with him and not to worry about anything.
yeah. And Friday, she's still there, Jen eating. He said, go eat. And she went to eat and he left. And next Saturday, we'll get the details to you on our Facebook page and in our Wednesday newsletter. It's next Saturday afternoon from 11:30 to 2:30 in White Plains at, I forget the name of the funeral home.
Ballard
Duran, where we'll have 2 hours for visitation, and the last hour will be our service. And I know a few people will be singing and things, and so we'll let you know. So check the Facebook page, check the newsletter, and you'll get all the information you need, I hope. And, we'll leave off something. But that's what we do. I want to read you a poem written by Unity's poet laureate, the man who wrote the Prayer for Protection. And he wrote this poem, and it's called The Traveler. He has put on invisibility. Dear Lord, I cannot see, but this I know, although the road ascends and passes from my sight, that there will be no night, that you will take him gently by the hand and lead him on along the road of life that never ends. And he will find it is not death, but dawn. I do not doubt that you are there as here, and that you will hold him dear. Our life did not begin with birth. It is not of the earth. And this we call death. It is no more than the opening and closing of a door. And in your house, how many rooms must be beyond this one that we rest momently? Dear God, I thank you for the faith that frees, the love that knows it cannot lose its own, the love that looking through the shadows sees that you and he and I are ever one. And so the peace of God now fills our minds and our hearts. And we know that there is but one life, whether in a body or out of a body. And Ray and you and I share that one life with God. The only reality is love. We're going in. Let's welcome this going in, that we may know the truth, that we may go within to hear the still small voice that speaks so clearly, and all we have to do is listen. So I welcome the still small voice. I welcome the still small voice. Those of you who care to, would you know that with me? I welcome the still small voice. I welcome it to speak to me and through me. I welcome it to remind me yet again of the truth of my being and the truth of my relationship to all beings. Love is the only reality. Love is the only reality. And if that is the case, we shall release in this time our story that declares anything less then love is the reality. Look within your body. Declare love lives here. And for one time and one time only, we shall apologize to our body for telling it anything less than love. And so our body is cleansed. We look at the life around us and we declare only love lives here. And for today at least, I will not declare that there is an absence of love. Love is present. Love loves. And love cannot be anything other than love. Love is my only reality. Love is my only reality. Love is my only reality. Love, 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 love. Let's take that thought into the silence and listen. Love, 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 love. Love is our only reality. Today we can experience any pain we might have, knowing that love is the reality. We can experience any confusion we might have, knowing that love is our only reality. And we can experience our preferences, knowing that love is the only reality. So I'm going to light our first candle of Advent. It's a purple candle. It's the candle of hope. We light it from the Christ candle. Hope. What's the difference between hope and faith? It's a rhetorical question, I'll tell you. I don't want to hear what you have to say yet. Send me an email. Let's go around the room. It's this symbol here that we have with the guitar and the hat of Ray's. Ray was our relationship to Ray was a big indication of the difference between hope and faith. We had hoped for an amazing miracle, that he would get well. We had hoped. But we had faith that no matter what, he was okay. When I say okay, what I mean was that he was loved and could not be loved. Our faith is that we are good and we are whole and we are complete no matter what. But we're hoping, we're really hoping for some of us, it is a better physical existence. For others of us, we're hoping for a different physical existence. We are hoping for a new toy for Christmas. We are hoping for more cash, for more prizes. And there's nothing wrong with that, provided our faith is where it ought to be. See, first things first, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. So if our faith is in a heaven consciousness, that whether I get the new toy for Christmas, whether my body holds up the way I want it to, because I hope it will, despite what I eat, despite how I treat it sometimes. I hope that my mind will be clear forever, despite how I treat it sometimes. The things I tell myself. Anybody? In traffic, the things we tell ourselves. When we look at our wallet, the things we tell ourselves. When we look at each other, the things we tell ourselves. And we don't want that to be our faith. We don't want our faith directed in our fear. And I was with a teacher years ago in a meditation class, Olga Butterworth. And somebody said, "Now, Olga, I know that fear is the opposite of faith." And she said, "Oh, no. Fear is faith. It's faith in what you're afraid of. We all have all the faith we're ever going to have. Just where are you directing it?" And I work daily to listen to the still small voice that tells me I am good. Yesterday, I was having my chat with Spirit on my iPad. I have a Hello Spirit chapter, and we visit. And I write down what I hear, because I believe it is the still small voice talking to me. It's still small voice is not separate. It's my highest voice. And I got to tell you, yes, and these things I say are not egotistical. I got a lot of praise yesterday morning in my journal. And I wrote it all down. Now, I got a surprise there, too. See, the Spirit that talks to me, the voice, never scolds me, never shames me, never tells me I'm stupid, never criticizes me in any way, offers me options of new ways to think. And often very bluntly, very flat, very blunt, because Spirit's not there to assuage my feelings. Spirit's not there to make me feel good about myself. I can always choose that. But I was grateful for all the praise I got. It was really wonderful. And I don't usually get a pile of praise in that moment, and I believed every bit of it. I knew it was true. But then Spirit threw me a curveball. I'd been having this resentment about someone. And I was told very clearly, you have to let that grudge go, Shawn, because quite frankly, it's none of your business. What's happening with this person is so not personal to you. It affects people I love. This person's actions affect people I love. But the only effect it has on me is that I see my friends unhappy or hurt. But it is not personal. And I was told very clearly, you have to let that go, Shawn. It's only in the way of your light. And I thought, but I'm enjoying my self-righteousness. Yeah. How dare this person hurt people I love? And I was like, but that's their relationship. It's not mine. And so, if love is the only reality, then my hope is, well, actually, hope and faith combined in this. My hope is that this will pass. My faith is, it already doesn't matter. My grievances don't mean a thing to Spirit. My justified resentments don't mean one thing in truth. They don't mean anything to love, except that I can't see love. I can't recognize love. I certainly can't feel it when I'm telling myself I ought to be angry with someone who did nothing to me. That's the real kicker. This person did nothing to me. And I'm the one preaching peace and love and joy, and then I got my grievance list. Who's been naughty, who's been nice. And who I should be kind to today and who I shouldn't. As if I'm the monitor. So this season, this Advent season, the coming forth is not that we don't already have what we need. It's not that we don't already have what we are. It's that I'm not paying attention. So the Christ in me is awake now. It is in me. It's wide awake. But I'm not always paying attention. So the coming forth is a symbol. The Advent season is a symbol of, this is my reminder, oh yeah, wake it up. Wake it up. And one of the symbols of the Advent season is the greens. And I have some live greens here, and live green wreath and everything. And what greens is about birth. It's about freshness and awakening. And so to really, what I really want is to awaken to life in me now. To awaken to divine life in every cell, every tissue, every fiber of my being. Life in my experiences. Life. You know, Ray, our friend Ray, just passed. He transitioned from the body, but life did not end. And we want life to circulate in our body. And here's the deal. Ray has not been dying for 3 years. He's been living for 3 years with a dis-ease in his body. And that's very different. It's very different. And most of us live with a dis-ease, either in our mind or our body. And I pronounce it that way specifically so we can get a better understanding. It's a dis-ease, not at ease. There's an absence of peace somewhere in the mind or the body. And so we want to look at that and then go, you know, you could have your journal with your highest voice, your conversation. And okay, what's up? What am I thinking that is creating this ill at ease, this dis-ease? And what could I be thinking to live in peace, to live in joy, to acknowledge the love that I am? So it's been a busy weekend. Friday, was it Friday? Yeah, Friday, I put together our little greens with the cinnamon stick that we give every year on this first Sunday of Advent. And what we're going to do in a moment here is we're all going to line up and go over to the tree, that very green tree, not very live tree, but that very green tree. And we're all going to take an ornament and put it on the tree. Reyesa, my lovely assistant, will be over there with you to assist. And then you will take your greenery. And that's a piece of fresh pine, tied with a ribbon, very lovingly by me, to a piece of cinnamon stick. So you have the fragrance. And I invite you to put this somewhere where you will see it every day of your life for the next year till you come and get yours next year. And every time you see it, you say, life is awake in me now. Love is awake in me now. The Christ is awake in me now. Find your word to affirm of what is awaking you now. So, I'm heading on over there. And when you get your green, you're going to say it into the microphone, your word that is awaking you now.